fine now.
Yes.
Hi everyone. We have come to a really exciting place. I've been desperate to come here for a really long time, so Dan's kindly let me do this one. So I do apologise if I get things wrong. Good old Google, you know. We're at Langston. I'm going with monotype, and we're going for air raid shelter runs. Yeah, I got a nod. We're going with that. So there is so much to see. I believe it's 1899. I think the factory is actually here. In World War One and World War Two, there was over 2,000 employees here. So they had a sports place. They had well, they had lots of things. they had farms. And we also just found out that part of the factory, on top of the main part of the factory, was the prime spot. How do you say it? It is? Yeah, not. You can help me. For spotting enemy aircraft, and we just found out it was the prime spot for the whole of the southeast, so that was pretty cool to know as well. But we've had a bit of a walk around only because this place is bigger than what we thought, and there is so much to see. We've had a bit of a debate about if these are all air raid shelters, because as you'll see, 3 of them or 4 of them are slightly different. We're not too sure if there's 5 or 6 here, but this is absolutely huge. Basically, a little bit about Langston's factory. They had the patent for pressing and manufacturing all the components for all the machinery. I'm trying to think of a word and I've lost it. But yeah, basically it was cold press printing. So, and they had the patent for it. So in World War II alone, they produced over 18 million, I think it was, components, including 70,000 Bren guns. Yes, I got it right. Bren guns, yeah. Thumbs up. So I need to actually do a bit more research to actually find out what those guns were, but we've seen loads of photos of what they used to do here, and the machinery and ammunition that used to make here, and it's so cool. Yeah, I think we just have a look around and try not to fall over. I think people have been here before to try and dig to see if they can get into any of these. Unfortunately, including us, we are defeated. Whoever covered this up really did not want anybody to get in. As you can see, there is crap loads of mud, and we've seen a couple of small holes where people and animals have dug in it, and this goes down. And as you'll see in a couple of them, this was actually colour. Oh look, they've done it here as well. So you can actually see here, this was actually, oh no, that's poo. That's hilarious. Classic game moment. But honestly, over there, the squirty bits are on the wall are not poo. And it was actually where there was metal mesh that went across, so this had to be a lot lower down for people to go through. So after that, we're just going to walk around and try not to fall over. These ones are actually in, or this one, this could be quite funny. This one, as you can see, the reason we were debating on if this was actually an air raid shelter is, number one, look at that entrance. Now that's pretty grand for just an air raid shelter. Also, just behind Dan, the walls don't exactly just go straight round. They've got these little bits that come off, so you've got actually that end is different. So that end goes back a bit further, that one goes around there, but each in turn they then go up and kind of come back in a square. Now there's 3 of the... Is that one the same?
Yeah.
But that one's a lot smaller than this one, and there's another 2 over there. But yeah, people have tried getting in it, but it's really cool to actually look upon.
They've been classed as air raid shelters, haven't they? But
Yeah,
it's just
yeah.
like, so I think, and
I
I don't think we're doubting that. I just think that it's so, it's one of them ones that's been, and I think it's been demolished so well that it's very. I think people would struggle even at the best of this to sort of have a second think, because it's so, although it's preserved in certain ways like that, and obviously you can see over there Finger of Doom, the wall, you'll see more of it, like obviously down there and stuff.
That one's smaller. You can see that from here. But
they are
in the same. It's in the same. But them 2 over there, they are not. They're just a dead straight entrance to what you would normally see.
It's just it's been cleaned so well. That's the thing. That's the only problem. It's just because it's been cleaned so well that, you know, if people sort of write in and sort of say they're not air raid shelters, then that's fine, because I think this one's giving us a bit of a head scratcher.
Yeah, I mean, like we say, there's the detail that they've put in to like things like this. What would that purpose? What is the purpose of doing an air raid shelter? You just do the entrance, don't you, to the air raid shelter?
Yeah. I think we'll put it. We'll title it as that, because there's really not that much history to it, is there?
No.
You've got.
I know this is a bit of a far stretch, but, or maybe not, but I'm just, trying to go back in the times and stuff. But maybe because them 2 over there, like you said, they may have had a female and they may have had a male, but also ones like this, you think they had over 2,000 workers in those factories. There must have been really important people, and then like us, your everyday common ants. So would it be that you had like the really important people?
No, I don't know. No, I think it would have been a multi-purpose.
What would the purpose be of those bits?
Look, by the way, these are the things that aren't poo, and these are definitely part of the steel mesh that Kay kindly.
That would have gone over. So that just goes to show. Looking, see, it's not even knee height.
Well, that's proper.
Yes, definitely not.
Yeah.
But you can see through knee height, obviously, how deep what we're walking on. So someone's really took their time to fill it in.
I think, like,
what was the purpose of these be?
You would have had. It's not.
It's like a puzzle, isn't it? Look, you've got that way. You go there. And then over there in that far corner, it goes out, and then over here it goes out. So it's a bit like a. It's a bit like, so you've got that bit there, and then you've got that bit that goes out there, that bit goes up there, and then that bit goes out there, and then it comes back. I
keep wanting to feel like I've seen stuff like this before, and I can't figure out where, and it's really annoying me, and it's really, it's just, I've seen this before, I've seen this layout before, and I just don't know where, and I can't remember from what. Still filming. Still filming. See, that's clipped quite well. Yeah.
See, that goes out there, and then it's like, and then that goes out there.
In full steel. Yeah, no, I think that's, in fact, actually, that makes me want to be more convinced that is a bunker, because that's the top cap of a joining part of the. Can you hold that? Yeah, no, look, and that I just noticed. Look, that's wood. It is.
Yeah, you know that bit of wood that I showed you just a minute ago? That's the same over there.
God.
Yeah, I know. It's an old telephone line.
It's an old telephone line. Oh my god.
It's incredible.
That is original. Look at that. Holy shit. That was covered up by the thing.
Yeah.
No, I think, I don't know. I'm inclined to agree with them. The other thing is that, look, I mean, the first thing for me that made me wonder is, look, when it's a shelter, it's all, they'll reinforce it with the ground and butt it up against the wall. They won't just leave it as a slab. So, and yeah, no, I don't know why it's throwing me off at first. It's just because it's sort of, yeah. Do you know why? It's because it's in the middle of winter. Everything's covered up.
Yeah, but I mean, it is pretty overgrown.
But then, to be fair, it's better being here because the leaves have fallen. That you can see. Do you want to go around there? It's better to see because the leaves have fallen, rather than when it's in full summer.
Oh. See? Oh! Round the hole.
So I'll take it back now. Here's your video. I just want to. Yeah, so that's a pipe. Yeah, I know. Yeah, that can't. Yeah. I think. Yeah, I mean, the more and more I'm going through it, the more and more I'm becoming convinced. Should we?
Next.
Yeah. Okay. Right, next.
Hi. So we've just come from there. We've just shown you that big square, which we've just said is, we are agreeing, a bomb shelter.
Yeah.
Yeah. So these are the two which we're debatable are singles or not, because of the way they're laid out. They are so different from the other ones. So they are literally very basic and go straight up.
I'll go around this way.
Right.
Just going around this way. It's only because of the light as well. Unfortunately, we are where the light is. It's a bit annoying. Yeah, look, we're debating. Get out of the light.
Yeah, see, these are shafts exactly the same.
Yeah.
So these, you've got the stairs that come up, they both go that way and then they just go both straight down, and that is it.
Gives you good scope actually where you're standing.
What, how big they are?
Yeah.
These things are huge. I mean,
They are huge
I
actually.
didn't expect them to be as big as they are, but obviously you can see the mesh went all along. Oh yeah, look, see there's the original wood.
Oh yeah,
I
that's the
found.
bit of wood that you found. Yeah.
See,
That is
so
mental.
you think you would have had to walk under that, so it just shows how deep all this mud is. But yeah, that's the original wood. You've got another drain pipe over there.
Leading, actually, if we look at the Eye of Faith, that is leading right opposite there. But... Right, yeah.
Right, now, actually, while that is the train, you can hear the train in the background. Now, the reason Salford Station is actually here is because of this factory. Okay, there it is. So, because there were so many factory workers, in 1915, they arranged for a drop-off, basically, which ended up being the station, to be made. So it was in distance for all the factory workers. Now, it wasn't open to the public until 1932. So they had it solely for them. So that's why it's here. Otherwise, there wouldn't be a train station here.
No.
Why is that pipe there?
Look,
not that big one.
That, yeah, but
that one below.
Yeah, but it's running all the way up there. Look.
Oh,
Do you see?
yeah.
It's got the bolts and it's coming all the way up there. So that's the original pipe. Look, all of that itself is the original pipe.
I didn't see
all
it
this.
there.
And that people, like what Kay said, like people have been trying to dig. No, it's not a rabbit hole. That's actually genuinely people trying to get in there. Even to, well, basically just to ground level, really, because it's not.
Oh, look at that. That would have been one of the pieces that go across, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Well. Yeah.
Like what we saw over there.
Memorabilia.
Yeah, but I don't think I can put that.
No. Right.
Next. So, we have just climbed through all the brambles and stuff. So we've kind of stepped back a bit. So we've gone from being a square over in the corner to the 2 single ones on their own, and then we've stepped back a bit and we are here. But before we show you this one, I love this thing. Dan could probably tell you more about this than I could. I don't know, a generator, a burner, oven, fire. This is so, I don't know.
It's a coal fire burner in it, really. I mean, it's like it's a. But you can even see right inside there.
Isn't it round? Like it's just, it's just. Obviously, it's boxed in. It's bricked in, all the way round. But after just some digging, we got the top door. So, ouch. So it fell to the door. Yeah, that will go there.
That's so cool, that.
And then this one, it's heavier. It's got sort of a grill, and that would be for the bottom one. But yeah, they're pretty cool. It just shows like how long this one was down. It was tucked down the side, but obviously weather's got to this bit. So, but yeah, that's quite cool. Right? I like the fact it's bricked in. It's got its own little home, but it is quite, well, I don't know. It may not be random, but it's random to me. It just sort of is just plonked there, and it's the only one here.
Oh, well, this is. I just want to say something actually.
What?
Go on then. So yeah, what I've not. So I just want to quickly say something. The rest of it's Kay's video, as you know. Kay, as she said in the video, wanted to do this for a very, very long time. Now, we've probably been aware of this for, I don't know, a few months now, which in our world is a long time. And it's always nice that we come to a place like this where we had no idea about this place, we didn't know anything about it, and we just wanted to sort of be really grateful for, like I said, the opportunity that we've actually come here. Like Surrey is a very magical place, and we've done a few videos in Surrey recently. Well, I say recently, we did them in the summer. We did a lot of videos in the summer. If you look at our video status, you'll see I don't really put them in order. So we'll have ones with different colour hair and beard, no beard.
That's normally how you can tell if you kind of put them all together.
Me, fat, thin, muscle, whatever stage of life I was going through. But
me, big butt, little butt.
Yeah, you know. But it's just really grateful that we've had this opportunity to do this video. I mean, like I said, there's no. I think when you explore a place, I think we come to the assumption now there's no real right or wrong time to ever come to a place, whether it's in the summer or winter. Because obviously in England, that's all we ever have, just summer and winter. There's no such thing as autumn or spring. It's just extremes of whatever. But I think, like I said, coming to a place like this, we may be wrong on a few bits on this one, but that's the fun of a place like this, is that we don't know enough, and there is, trust me, not enough information on this specific area. Trust me, we've looked, and there's just not enough info on it. So we are having to sort of assume, use our own personal experience from what we've done, to hopefully provide a bigger picture for people, so that if people do come down there and check it out, that you may have a different either perspective on it, or you may have a different outlet. As far as I'm concerned, like from seeing it, I mean, they're definitely air raid shelters, but just the condition of them is so sort of unique. You can see the top floor of the levels. So yeah, back to Kay. Anyway, sorry, pass it over. Thought I'd just put that in. Okay, needs to be said.
Very important.
Yeah, but I always worry. Yeah, but no, but my worry is these days, though. Yeah, but I know, and I'm sorry for having a very high IQ, but you know what I mean. Like that's.
Fencing, the original fencing.
Yeah.
That goes all along in the barbed wire.
But I also admit though that sometimes I can be wrong on things, and I think that sometimes when I go wrong, I go common, and hopefully that's an excuse to sort of careful.
Hair extension.
You know, yeah. So it's a shame really, because we're sort of fighting against the light behind us today, but we apologise.
I love digging.
That was it. That is a very old chair, let's be honest.
Seriously,
I'm not just saying that because it's been worn out. It's a genuine old chair.
There was one along there, but it didn't have the back thing to it.
Right, so go on then.
No. Yeah, so this is the furthest one along. So yeah, we've come back on ourselves and we're starting, and then we'll go back. So we kind of make a full circle. Wish I had a bit of paper so I could like draw it out for you. It's so confusing. I mean, we went separate ways when we first got it because there's so much to look at.
There we go. Right, I'm going to go around here. It's one of those rare times that we're not really filming necessarily in like a lifetime setting, really, is it? We'll go up this way.
Well, we kind of are, but we're kind of cutting out the falling and
well,
bramble, is it?
most of the falling. So here we are, look. So it's the same setup, that there's your typical.
And this again is one of the square ones.
Yeah.
Like what we said, and it's made exactly the same.
Finger of Doom.
Exactly the same indent.
Comes down here, look.
Apart from over
See it
that
down there.
end, you haven't got the as what we had, what you were saying, which you shows you, it was like got the reinforcements.
Yeah.
But then that may have been.
The thing that I found really interesting about this one was that when I was up here, I said to Kate, I said, look, there's a hole in there. Finger of Doom. But unfortunately, no. It's where the concrete slabs have been pulled apart. People have sort of demolished little bits, and unfortunately I think the thing is that, as I've seen before, when people, again, the difference between historical exploring and urbex exploring is that with urbex exploring, people are more keen to sort of get in by whatever means possible, and I think in the historical side we want to try and not. You know, so no, I'm going to walk down and then come back up. Alright, see you in a minute.
Now we've both just managed to climb on top and through. Unfortunately, there's like a broken tree that's across the main entrance over there, so it makes it pretty hard to get up it. But I love this one, and I love my nature, so that kind of swayed me on this one over all of them over there. Is the fact, if you turn around, I was fascinated by how these trees have just sort of, I don't know, growing up. There's like everything's just missing in between. And it just, I don't know, it's things like that that just fascinates me. What's under there, how strong it is. It's holding all of this. It's, yeah, that's just, I know it's not war stuff, but yeah, just, it's my stuff.
What did you find, Kay?
Found a pipe.
Found a
That's why I'm
pipe.
swinging around. It's not something that I'm going to smack down over the head with. As we've just experienced, it's
Yeah.
it's really heavy. I like having finds from our explores. I don't know. It's like, it's a little bit of time taken with you, isn't it? And it's got loads of indents and stuff, and I think that's cool. So obviously had some kind of clip around it at some point there. And it's actually painted green, and then it's been painted white. I'm not too sure what's on top of what there, but the fact that, I don't know, that may have been the colour coding down there. I don't know, because they certainly wouldn't have been painting up here.
Oh no, but if it's copper, it rusts to green though, doesn't it?
No, that's actually painted.
Well, it is.
Yeah, it's actually paint.
Oh yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Hang on, wait for that to focus. I'm hoping that's going to focus. Are you going to focus? Yeah, you can sort of see that. Yeah, you can. Yeah, there's green
actually
there.
painted
There you go.
white and green. Well, whether it's
I
been
did
green
then.
and white
There
or
we go.
white then green.
It's focusing now. There we go.
Yeah, I'm not too sure which way, but it is paint nonetheless. So yeah, that's my little find. I mean, we found some. I mean, this place is smothered in pipes, and I just found this down there. But there's loads of pipes coming out of all places around here, drain pipes and everything. But I love the fact, like, also what we found is that originally here it was all farmland to start with before they started with the manufacturing factories. Originally there was only one factory built at the beginning, and then obviously, especially by World War II, because it was World War II that they then had over 2,000 employees. That was when they was at their biggest. And that is when they put in a sports field, a little tennis court and things like that for them, because there was just so much going on. I mean, by the pictures that we found online, it was incredible, because they was actually testing their guns. So there was obviously a room with a hole in the wall, and they were shooting into concrete walls outside. And to think, like, all of this, and we saw the street as it was. And that is, when I came in, one of the questions that I was driving down up the wall with is, why has everything got monotype? As you come in, everything is called monotype. So you've got monotype bowls, you've got monotype, I can't even say the word now, I said it too many times, social club. But then when we looked into it and we Googled, the reason they hold that name is because they were actually here, and they were originally all here again because of the factory. So but yeah, it's incredible to see what you're looking out on here. And same again as to why you sort of, the prime spotting place for enemy aircraft was here, because you can just see anywhere, really.
I've just realised that's...
Yeah, it's incredible.
Yeah, the
You
corrugated
can't see
iron,
down.
though, that's there, look, that's where we were. That corrugated iron probably actually could have been original. Because I was sitting, didn't I? I said, I wonder where... There always should be corrugated iron.
Yeah.
For all of fun with a shelter,
it's
even though
over
it's not
there as
necessarily
well.
the same, but you'd always find it. When you're in a deep shelter, you normally find it obviously on the inside of it, so it's interesting.
I wonder if, would that have been... I know there's only a
Would have been
small
on the
generator
inside.
that-
Oh, no,
so
yeah, that,
someone
yeah.
saw that it wouldn't have
Yeah,
been
yeah.
over there.
That would have been... No, that would have been there, yeah, sorry, yeah, that would have...
To
Yeah,
cover the,
yeah.
to cover the
Yeah.
heater generator.
Yeah, it would have been used to probably supply probably the toilets, if anything, maybe. Toilets and taps. I mean, like I said, that might have been... But the thing is, to me, it's a very old system. I mean, like, Right, okay. Go on.
Would they have had... You know, we saw them photos. Now there was... And we found out that there was a huge... first aid centre that was here,
yeah.
But obviously all their pipes were coming from the ceiling, so in some way, shape or form, somewhere around here it was below ground. Would any of these have been, do you think?
What, first aid? Yeah, well, they would have had some. Yeah, they would have had some form of first aid here. I mean, that's the mandatory.
Do you think any one of these would have been?
I don't think it would have been specific. No, I don't think it would have been. You're not. I think you got it. It's always judged on the size of the actual building or location itself, if it warrants that. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
Shorts factory, for example, and Shorts tunnels. I'm here, babe. Look, Shorts tunnels and Shorts factories, for example, pretty much had. It was predominantly an air raid shelter, large, but it did have other things incorporated into it. But then again, in the Cold War, it was more mandatory, you could argue, in the Cold War, and especially in bigger bunkers, to have more commonly specific first aid shelter. So Kelvedon Hatch, for example, had a huge hospital bay. Well, it's a huge hospital bay, what I'm talking about, but it had a hospital bay itself with beds and everything else. And obviously in World War II, I think, again, in Chislehurst Case is a classic example. Do you know what I mean? Like, they had a first aid little centre bit. I'm not sure if this place was big enough to sort of have a facility as such, but definitely would have had some form of, Oh yeah, look at that.
What's it?
Bent.
Oh, it's bent up.
It's
Is it bent up? Yeah, it is bent up.
Interesting.
Oh wow. Oh wow. Oh wow. Look, all the way down there.
I've got one of my torches in there, though. And we'll come back, hang on.
So, sorry, we got a bit distracted. We found a really big hole, but we just determined that I was going to squeeze into it. I am not that tiny. But we did lower my phone down and a torch, but it was a dead end. So there was some metal railings and that, which was really cool to see on my phone. But other than that, there was nothing to show you. So yeah, sorry about that, guys. But we are on the last one, we do believe, of what we found. So you could, from this spot, you can actually see all of them. So you've got the first square one, which was over there. You've got the two which are there. I'm trying not to confuse people, so I'm just going to do the doors are here, and here. Yeah, so you've got the square one over there, you've got the two there, you've got another square one there, and then you've got the square one here. So we think now there's like 5. So, but again, this is another one. This is probably the most overgrown, so we can't actually walk all around it like we did the others. You've got the main stairway there, which is still in really good condition. I'm actually really surprised. They're so cool to see. So I really love them. But yeah, it's really cool. Is that your yes and no? But yeah, this one's really overgrown. And there's not much to see on this. This is probably the mossiest one as well, which sort of covers up the...
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
look, not poop, that is iron.
People who tried to dig a hole.
Yeah, there is just so much here. I mean, you can see by how, you know, sort of the depth of us. I mean, you'd have to be right down there.
Yeah, look, you can
I
sort
don't
of...
even think there's really stairs here. I think this is just a barrier that you just walk around. Wow, that's cool. But no, there's, you can see all the concrete smashed and everything. They've done a really good job at sort of things. Hang on. There you go. I mean, they really did mean for nobody to get into this. In no way, shape or form.
It's nice they've tried.
It is, I mean, yeah, like we said, really, to get in, you'd have to have sort of some construction machine to get half of this crap out. But, I mean, we could all sort of be walking around this thinking, wow, it's amazing to get in. But if we actually looked at it, the amount of concrete that we found in the holes, they may have actually smashed it up anyway, so that there really is nothing left to find. Oh look, the
I know.
thingies are still in there. The ball pop. I don't know. I can't remember. That's really old.
They're not from that though. That's obviously not part of that. That's just somebody put them in there.
What?
That's part of the That's part of the communications line. No, the balls
Yeah,
are.
I
Look,
do
told you,
know.
yeah, look.
Really?
Yeah.
No. They're ball cocks.
I thought they were flotation
No,
devices for small
this.
children. Oh yeah,
For
that.
what? No, this for the water.
No,
There's
you're
measure
right.
the water.
Yeah, that is, darling. Oh, what? They're
Yeah,
in. They're meant to be in there.
Yes. We used to have these on the farm.
All right, boss.
I'm quite sure they are. I mean, someone may correct me, but it is. So that this functions the same as your toilet.
Okay.
You have them in your
Joking.
toilet, and when that ball cock gets to a certain length, obviously it fills up, and that's what keeps it going.
Keeps really annoyed with me and my sarcasm. Just don't like it. Which is why I do it all the time. Oh. This is just demolishing now, okay? Vandalism.
No, it's not.
Oh god. It's a secret. Oh.
No, it's not until you look up this stuff that you never know what you'll find,
True.
do you? So, well, from this time, I haven't found anything.
It's alright though.
But, no, it's pretty cool.
Right.
Obviously used for something. But, yeah, so hopefully we haven't confused you too much. This is the last one, isn't it?
Yeah.
What's that there?
Oh.
No, it isn't. We've still got one
God
more.
damn it. It just goes
No,
on.
so we have got 6.
We'll walk through.
Ow.
I think they liked, just ignore her. I think they liked easy, even numbers back in the day. Spiders' webs.
Oh, so there is another one. This is so confusing. This is why you walk out first and we still it then.
True. Oh yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, this is the smaller one.
It's the first one that we sort of came across.
Yeah, but isn't this one? Yeah. Oh no. Yeah.
Do you know what? You can tell you've
Still got the same entrance. It is just the same size. It's so deceiving. Over there, look. Wow, look at that. Look, turn around.
I know, yeah.
So that's the first one that we started off. So yes, you've got the square one, 2 single ones, then we kind of go over a little bit, square one, and square one. So how random is that? It's incredible.
Oh,
But it's so deceiving. This one looks so small, so much more.
Even
one
more
is
holes.
Mostly overgrown.
look.
Huh.
Too small though. Again, people have blatantly been trying to sort of...
Yeah.
Because I mean, that's not an animal.
No, but it's so good. It's got concrete there.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? And there's essentially not much concrete missing. If it was wire mesh on the top, it's not.
Yeah, no. Well,
This is the last one.
I think we did a really good job.
Incredible view.
Yeah.
Just to kind of see that that one is probably the best one to show the whole complete scale and size.
I mean, the fact of the matter is that I think we documented it, and that's
Yeah.
the most important thing
But
for
just
people.
This whole area is just bunker.
Yeah.
Bunker, bunker, bunker.
All right.
There we go. Thanks for joining us. And you're going to say goodbye?
Bye.
No.
Bye.